everyone. Good morning, afternoon, good evening. So I've done a little bit. I just put my microphone on. I hope you can hear me. Let me double check my sound real quick to make sure. Sometimes my setup doesn't
Flaming hot cream.
work so well. But today is July 5th, 2023. Let me see if I'm working. Hey everyone. Okay, good. You can hear me. Good. All right. So I've done a little bit of a dive into this Karl Larsen. I haven't really followed all the photographers like other people have. This guy keeps popping up again and again. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. He seems to play both sides, Meghan and her father. So I've been trying to piece it together, and I'm trying to do my own research because you can read this and that on social media, but really it's best to try to figure out for yourself first. Do your own research. You know how it goes. It's all in the media because everything with Meghan and Harry is in the mainstream media, right? So my journey started out when it was pointed out. Was it this article? It says this article came out. What is this one? Yeah, okay, this just came out today. Prince Harry, Meghan Markle papped by Thomas Markle's friend. Now I noticed several YouTubers brought that up. That was Thomas Markle's friend who took the recent photographs of Meghan and Harry walking around the wrinkled shirts. So it says Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have been pictured going about their private lives by a photographer who launched a YouTube channel with Thomas Markle. Karl Larsen was credited on pictures of the Duke and Duchess of Suing and Sex published in the Daily Mail on July 2nd, which showed them arriving at an office in Santa Barbara, California. Yeah, Meghan was smiling like a fiend. She loved it. She called him. He shared an image of the coverage on his Instagram stories, writing, "So nice to see my friends Harry and Meghan on Friday before they get away for a long weekend. Please do not believe the media. They are very much in love and are happy together. Nothing but smiles and laughter here." Yeah, the only one smiling was Meghan. Harry looked angry. The tone of Larsen and Markle Sr.'s YouTube channel, Remarkable Friendship, is very different, however, and the pair are reportedly critical of Harry and Meghan. Yeah, so this guy Larsen, so it was on his Instagram page. This is his Instagram page here. Let me see if I can pull that down. So here's Karl Larsen Photography Instagram page. And so he posts this picture, and sorry, I'm moving around here. In the comments on the right, if I can pull it over, so I can read it. You can read it. I can't read it on my thing here. But okay, there we go. It says question. He writes question. What do Slash and Meghan Markle have in common? And then he writes, one, they both grew up in Los Angeles. So for some reason he decided to compare Meghan to Slash. Like, huh? What? Um, okay. One, they grew up in Los Angeles. Two, both have amazing talents. They do. What's that? What talent does Meghan have? We know what Slash has. Obviously, it looks like he has a guitar talent. So, what's Meghan's talent? Meghan doesn't have an amazing talent. Oh, I know, not that I've seen. Three, they are both mixed race, but you would never know it, nor do they talk about it. He says that. They're mixed race, but they never talk about it. Are you kidding me? They never talk about it? Meghan and Harry, who have been screaming racism since 2016. Are you, this Karl Larsen, obviously he was put up to writing this. Either that or he's just completely insane and trying to kiss Meghan's buttocks. I mean, never talks about it. He was parading around with a black mother everywhere, screaming racism everywhere, accusing the royal family of racism, accusing anyone who criticizes her of racism, but you'd never know she was biracial, though. No, absolutely not. just loves telling the story of she didn't know whether to click the white box or the black box, and her father said make a new box. And what else is again and again she's brought her race up and how confused she was. And what was the other story she told? So many stories about her race that she doesn't identify with. She's always identified as white. She doesn't mention her checking off Caucasian on her driver's license, from what I heard. Uh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then she told the story about her doll set that her dad gave her, and her dad bought the black doll set and a white doll set and put them together. Yeah, but you've never heard anything. Megan never talks about her mixed race. Never, according to Karl Larsen. And Karl Larsen writes number 4, they are both loved in the UK and America. Megan's loved in the UK and America. Third lie. Wow, this guy's a pathological liar like Megan. Lie, 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 lie. Anyways, number 5, they both only naturally smile and laugh. They both only naturally smile. Yeah, Megan's smiles are natural. Her rictus grin is natural. Yeah, so the comments about this are funny underneath. They're like absolutely nothing in common. So he put this one. There's another picture here. I guess that's him in his younger years. I don't know. Whatever. So he posted that one. When did he post that one again? So this one was posted 3 days ago. So July 2nd. And again, as if that weren't enough, he posts a big picture of Meghan and says the exact same. He writes the exact same post. What do Slash and Meghan Markle have in common? So he's got a picture here of her on the polo field, and he's talking about comparing Meghan with Slash, the exact same post. Both amazing talents, not. Both are mixed race, but you'd never know it, not. Both loved in the UK and America, not. Both naturally smile and laugh, not. So, yeah. So this doesn't even match the post. He's talking about what do Slash and Meghan have in common, and he posts pictures of Harry and Meghan, which makes absolutely no sense. So he's got 2 posts on Instagram with the exact same message that he obviously copied and pasted. Obviously, Meghan wrote it, in my opinion. And he puts it on a picture that doesn't even match what he's saying. So it's obvious like he's just pushing this agenda or whatever. So what do we know about Karl Larsen? Well, he had that YouTube channel with Thomas Markle where where Thomas Markle aired his grievances about his daughter and son-in-law. And okay, then people have said that Karl Larsen was the one that took the pictures that were staged with Thomas Markle shortly before the wedding. This is an article from 2018, Daily Mail. So it turns out Karl Larsen is not the one who took those pictures. It was the man he worked for, Jeff Rayner. Okay, so Karl Larsen worked for Jeff Rayner at Coleman Rayner. And you can see it down here. I scroll down to the bottom here. Apologies if I make you dizzy. But they put mail on Sunday on all these pictures. But here you can see this one, for example, Jeff Rayner, Coleman Rayner. Okay, so Jeff Rayner took the pics, and Karl Larsen worked for Jeff Rayner. And there were problems. I mean, first of all, let me just start off with the fact that they're gaslighting us about this being a huge scandal. Wedding scammers. It's like, no, there's no wedding scam. So he posed for some staged pics. Big deal. He's father of the bride. His daughter's marrying into the royal family. So he posed for some pictures. Big effing deal. Well, Meghan and Harry and the rest of them want to gaslight you into thinking that this was some scandal and it's so horrible. And how could Thomas Markle do this? How could Thomas Markle call the paps to have his picture taken just like Meghan does? The same photographer. So this to me, if you look at it from a First Amendment, and that Harry and Meghan are trying to attack our freedom of speech by attacking the press and by attacking paparazzis and putting them out of business by suing them, it kind of all makes sense. It comes together. So we start off with Thomas Markle. He posed for some stage pictures. Big deal. They blew it up for no reason because, well, they blew it up because Meghan and Harry want to turn everything with the media into a scandal so that they can file lawsuits, in my opinion. So they blew this non-incident up to try to make it an incident and gaslighting everybody about it. And Meghan repeated it on Oprah. But then now, so like I said, Karl Larsen got together with Thomas Markle to the YouTube channel. And then he turned on Thomas Markle in June 2022, a year ago, and claimed that he had to edit so many comments that Thomas Markle said about the royal family, inappropriate things. So he basically kind of turned on Thomas Markle here, saying that Thomas Markle has no filter. What he was saying about the royals, oh my goodness, I had to edit it all out. So you can see what a snake this Karl Larsen is. So he acts all buddy buddy with Thomas Markle, and then he turns around and accuses him of saying all these inappropriate things. It says Karl Larsen spoke to Insider about working with Thomas Markle. Larsen said he wanted the show to show the real Thomas, but sometimes had to cut things out. Thomas told Insider that he severed his relationship with Larsen since recording their last video. So they're no longer buddy buddies. But why were they buddy buddies? What brought them together? Well, I think the answer is um, lawsuits. So the first lawsuit is, I don't know, I have an article talking about it. Well, the first lawsuit is that Karl Larsen sued Jeff Rayner, Coleman Rayner, in 2019. According to this, from what I understand, you can see Karl Larsen versus Coleman Rayner there, Jeff Rayner. Apparently, Karl Larsen was under the belief that he was an employee of Coleman Rayner, but it turned out that he was just a contractor. So there's a dispute here. Karl Larsen felt he deserved all these benefits of a full-time employee, when in reality he was um, he wanted unpaid wages. So this is 2019. It says here, civil action brought under California labor code seeking unpaid wages, damages, civil penalties, etc. fees. So he's bringing this against Coleman Rayner. For, basically he wants money. He wanted money. He claimed that he deserved more money. But my first thought is, well, if you're an employee, then you would fill out a W-2 form, right? And if you're a contractor, you fill out a 1099, I believe. So there's two different tax forms you fill out depending on whether you're an employee. So you would know, and it's evident from when you sign the contract, which one you're filling out determines whether you're an employee or a contractor. So I don't see how Karl Larsen could not know whether he's an employee or contractor. I mean, either you have the form or you don't, right? So I don't know, is this just vexatious litigation or is there something else to this? I mean, I'm not reading the whole thing, but it says right here, um, plaintiff or Karl Larsen worked for Coleman Rayner from early 2014 to at least approximately April 2018. From the very beginning, Coleman Rayner and improperly classified him as an independent contractor rather than an employee. Plaintiff Karl Larsen took direction from the Coleman Rayners on what subjects to photograph, what methods to use to secure certain kinds of pictures that were difficult to obtain. Karl Larsen retained no ownership over any of the photographs he took, as those had to be assigned to his employer. Okay, so perhaps that picture that says Jeff Rayner on it could have been taken by Karl Larsen then. So okay, so it is possible he took those pictures of the staged paparazzi pictures of Thomas Markle. Yeah, so he tried to sue for more money, and I believe he lost this. It says Karl Larsen was terminated on or after April 2018, and he claims he was not paid final wages. Yada yada. So he starts talking about he deserves overtime, he deserves break time. So if you want to read this whole thing, I'm not going to read this whole long document, but healthcare, rest periods. So basically, so the bottom line is Karl Larsen sued Coleman Rayner for money, obviously, money, unpaid wages. And then That's Jeff Rayner, photographer who staged Thomas Markle Sue's TV channel. Okay, that's another lawsuit. Lawsuits are just flying everywhere. And then Thomas Markle sued Coleman Rayner. Meghan Markle's father loses staged photo shoot lawsuit against paparazzi owner. And this just happened January 2023 that he lost. So when Thomas Markle got together with Karl Larsen, they both hated, right? They were enemies of Coleman Rayner. They were both suing Coleman Rayner. First, Karl, so that's why they got together, I believe, is what it looks like. Because Karl Larsen sued Coleman Rayner and lost, I believe, and now Thomas Markle sued Coleman Rayner and lost. So it seems Meghan Markle's father can't seem to catch a break. He was suing paparazzi agency Coleman Rayner. Jeff Rayner to the tune of $1 million for hammy staged photos because they were printed without his approval. Well, how can they be printed without your approval if you posed for them? And you knew they were going to be printed. What was the whole point of getting your picture taken? So no wonder he lost. I mean, these frivolous lawsuits against this paparazzi company. And again, if you look at it from a lens of First Amendment, it seems like this is just an attack on First Amendment, on the press, on the paparazzi, which would be supportive of Harry and Meghan and what their agenda is. Judgment is out. Markle's case has been dismissed, which means he's now out of his supposed nest egg. Well, of course it was dismissed. You posed for pictures. Why would they need your permission to publish them? You sold the pictures. You took the money. They can do whatever they want with the pictures after that. My understanding. According to legal documents, Thomas Markle's lawsuit against British paparazzi photo agency Coleman Rayner has been dismissed. But look at all these frivolous lawsuits, huh? Thomas Markle made a deal with Coleman Rayner over a staged photo shoot. It was to pay him 30%. Instead, it made him an object of ridicule and left him with no money, no standing. Well, that's not their fault. They staged some photos. You willingly posed for those photos. They didn't make you look ridiculous. They just made you look like you were getting, yourself fitted for an outfit and posing in front of a computer. I don't see how they made you look ridiculous at all, and no wonder that this was dismissed. So he's trying to pretend. So Thomas Markle here is trying to pretend like he's a victim of pictures that he voluntarily took, and Meghan Markle, which is a total lie, a total scam. And they try to take the whole staged photos as if that was a scam. What's a scam about staged photos? Meghan and Harry pose for staged photos all the time. Who cares, right? So they all look like scammers, the whole group of them, right? A bunch of criminals, in my opinion. I want to see what's really going on. So now we got Karl Larsen, who's now turned his back on Thomas Markle and bad mouthing him in the press, saying, "Oh, I had to cut so many things out." So they're not friends anymore. So now Karl Larsen is back with Meghan, and Meghan's calling him to pose for pictures. So Karl Larsen sued Coleman Rayner. I don't think Harry and Meghan have sued Coleman Rayner, have they? Let me see. I don't think they have. I think that Meghan. Who have they sued? Have they sued Coleman Rayner? Let's check real quick. Now her dad sued them. He lost. But you see this Harry and Meghan's 10 lawsuits in 3 years. So no, Harry and Meghan have not um sued Coleman Rayner. What's this one? Meghan Markle's father faces a restraining order after disturbing allegations. Meghan Markle doesn't have the best reputation in the eyes of the royal fans, while it's clear that English citizens feel about Harry and Meghan. Meghan's popularity in the US seems to be losing momentum. I don't see a date on this. Oh, this came out August 2022. Says her father has a worse track record, known for his bad behavior. Well, anyway, it's not looking good. They all look like trash. So I just wanted to look at this because this Karl, wait, I'm gonna go back to this Karl Larsen. So he's kissing Megan's butt big time. He doesn't even know what he's doing. He's all over the place. He's a mess. This guy's a mess. He really is. That's what it seems to me. I mean, I don't know him personally, but all these lawsuits, teaming up with Megan, teaming up. He's going back and forth, right? And then Megan's still working with him. So he's obviously, I don't know if he's part of a greater agenda to, sue paparazzi out of existence, or if they're just all drugged up and high and they're just suing it left and right because they feel like it. I don't know. I'm suspicious. Very suspicious. This looks very dark. I don't know why this looks so. My camera looks so dark. So I'm gonna look at this. I want to look at the relationship between. Let's see if we can make this a little brighter. Ooh, okay, that looks a little better, right? Well, that's too bright. I have to leave it like that. Hopefully you can see this. Ooh, actually, it's good with the gold. I'm gonna be using the gold Marseille deck that I have. And we're gonna take a look at this. And I'm gonna look at the relationship between Karl Larsen, and I'm using the Seven of Swords here. Karl, sees a little snake. And I'll put over here King of Cups I'm using for Thomas Markle. And then of course the Queen of Mean, Discrin, Meghan Markle's Queen of Wands. And we're gonna look at what's their relationship with each other here. What the hell's going on here? What the hell's going on here? This drama, these lawsuits. Meghan's working with him. Thomas Markle worked with him. Was Thomas Markle duped? Was Ken Larsen just a spy for Meghan to try to get in good with Thomas and pass messages along and to try to get Thomas to mess up so that Meghan could sue him or something? Was it entrapment? Was Karl Larsen trying to entrap? So I'm going to look at Karl Larsen and Thomas Markle, and then look at Karl Larsen and Meghan. So let's see what's going on here because Thomas Markle's an old man, and I think he's doesn't have the energy, and he obviously doesn't have the health either to be pulling all these stunts on his own, right? I think he could just be the big victim here in all this, and it's Meghan and Karl Larsen doing the scamming here, which would make more sense to me. So that's why I called him like King Butt Boy here, Butt Boy number two, because I think Karl Larsen is definitely a butt boy of Harry and Meghan, without a doubt, with all the lawsuits he's filing, trying to put that paparazzi Coleman Rayner out of business. I think that was the real agenda there with all this. There was no scandal with those pictures with Thomas Markle. Those weren't scandalous. He didn't look foolish. He's just standing there posing for some pictures. Didn't just look like pictures. There's nothing scandalous about it. But Meghan's gaslighting everybody, and including on Oprah, trying to say, "Oh no, it's so terrible what Thomas Markle did, posing for a picture in front of a computer, looking at his, the royal family. Oh my God, it's a scandal." I mean, it's so ridiculous the gaslighting going on. This is what narcs do, and she's trying to do it to the world. She's trying to get everybody in the world to just follow along with her gaslighting, which is so. All right, so anyways, let's focus on this. So Thomas Markle, what was Thomas Markle's relationship with Karl Larsen? From Thomas Markle's perspective, what was his relationship? Was he in on it? Was he a victim of him? Let's find out. I'll pull a few cards. Let's see what we get. So first one, I get Four of Cups reverse. So a very unhappy person, very unhappy time that for Thomas Markle, not doing well with everything going on, his health. Aha, the Papess, La Papess, which is like the High Priestess. Very secretive card, a wise old woman there, an older woman, like kind of get a Doria vibe from that. Oh, and then Wheel of Fortune reversed. So I'm getting that Thomas Markle teamed up with Karl Larsen because he was very sad. Things are not going his way. His daughter's not talking to him. He had several heart attacks. Nobody sympathizes with him. And this older woman in the background, a secretive older woman who I think is Doria. I'm getting a Doria vibe from this card. She's seeing how miserable they are, and yeah, they're just you could say he's turning his world upside down there, trying to make him look worse. So it's a big mistake. I think he knows that now. It just made things worse for him. I think Thomas Markle thought that perhaps, he wanted, I don't know what he wanted. I don't know why Thomas Markle was suing Coleman Rayner when he made a deal with them to take some pictures. No wonder it was dismissed. I mean, look at all these frivolous lawsuits, all of them. Prince Harry, all these lawsuits are frivolous and a waste of taxpayer and court time. They're all criminals in my opinion. And now seeing these frivolous lawsuits they're filing. I mean, but Thomas Markle is old, and like I said, he can be taken advantage of easily. And perhaps Karl Larsen convinced him to do the lawsuit. Did Karl Larsen, because it could be that he was duped into filing a lawsuit by Karl Larsen. Now, Karl Larsen already sued Coleman Rayner and lost, and so he's bitter and vindictive. So Karl Larsen is going around looking for someone to sue Coleman Rayner that he can cheer on and help out and try to win just to get his nemesis there. That could be the motive. So let's see, what was Karl Larsen's motive for getting together with Thomas Markle? Karl Larsen obviously is not loyal to anyone. Maybe he is. Maybe he's just loyal to Meghan. And use the dad, like I said, to try to put a paparazzi firm out of business, which would serve Meghan and Harry's agenda to kill freedom of speech, kill all the photography businesses and the news businesses. They don't want you doing any investigative journalism into them. And you do, they're gonna take you down. So let's see, what was Karl Larsen's attitude, agenda in befriending Thomas Markle? Let's see what I get. And I get, first card I get is the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups. Trying to be nice. He reached out to him. So this tells me Karl reached out to Thomas Markle. Oh, look at that death reversed. Wow. So he wanted to bring back, I think that he reached out to him because he's worried that Thomas Markle is going to die and he wanted to talk to him before he died. And then last, ooh, La Force, the strength reversed. Strength reversed. So, of course, things didn't go well, naturally. I don't know why I can't seem to like choose how bright. Doesn't let me choose. Is there a way I can make this not too bright? I'll just leave it like that. So get the light going now. So there we go. So this is Karl Larsen to his relationship to Thomas Markle. So he reached out to Thomas Markle. I think that he was, bringing up his old story of almost dying. Now, I find it interesting that the death card comes up because Karl Larsen, all right, so we know that Thomas Markle had a heart attack right before the wedding and didn't go. So then Karl Larsen gets together with Thomas Markle and they start talking about going to the Jubilee. And Thomas Markle says, "Yeah, I really want to go to the Jubilee. It's really important to me." But then he has a stroke. So it's like two near-death experiences. And then things get really out of control here. Um, he's claiming now, so now he's claiming that he had to edit it comments from Thomas Markle. He had to edit what was coming out of his mouth. But I think that he got clips that he may use in the future to blackmail him with or blackmail the royal family. So, like, he wanted to get Thomas Markle, an elderly man. Older people tend to talk too much, which can be very entertaining, but it could be, in this case, because of Meghan and Harry, it could be used against him in the future. So Karl Larsen edited out a lot, which means that he has some video of his father saying things that could be used against Thomas Markle. And who would use that video? Little Meghan Markle over here. So I am getting that Karl Larsen approached Thomas Markle to upset him again, stress him out, lead him to be more going back over the death. He's near his death, basically. I mean, he's at the very end of his life now. And to use what he says against him. So Karl Larsen was not a true friend. He was pretending to be, but he wasn't. He was pretending to Thomas Markle that he was there to help him get his side of the story out there, but in reality, he was there to get Thomas Markle's off-the-cuff remarks and statements that could be used, that could be edited and chopped up and used against him in a Netflix documentary, is what I'm getting. So he was not Thomas Markle's friend at all. No, Karl Larsen was a snake from Meghan. So now Meghan, of course, to reward Karl Larsen for his work exposing her father and giving him a stroke. Uh, I wonder. I'm gonna look into that. I think Karl Larsen has something to do with leading the stress of Thomas Markle towards a stroke here. I think Meghan wants her father to just die already, and that would because that would just be perfect for her. She can play the grieving daughter, and then she won't have to hear the truth coming out from him anymore. But let's see, what was first I want to look at was Meghan Markle's attitude towards her relationship with Karl Larsen. Karl Larsen's a snake, man. Where was he a snake? Going after an older person. This is elder abuse again. You see how Meghan and Harry abuse elderly people with the Queen, making her cry, and now they're going after her dad. So I do think that Thomas Markle is a victim here of Doria and Meghan. I think Doria really hates Thomas Markle. I don't think Doria ever loved Thomas Markle. I think she used him for his money from day one, and I think that they're out to kill him now, literally. He's inconvenient. He knows too much. They want to shut him up, just like Gloria shut up her father, allegedly. Just saying. They got a history here. Just saying. Karl Larsen looks like someone who might be involved in something like that. Just saying. Anyways, what was Megan's relationship with Karl Larsen? What was her relationship with him? Let's see what we get here. All right, first card I get. Ooh, it's very shiny there. See, it doesn't look so gold when I have the light on it. But when you put the light off, it's nice and gold looking. Then you see the gold. Just looks better with a dimmer light, right? So this is 10 of Cups reversed. Royal family. I always think the 10 of Cups is like the royal family, of course, reversed. You know, attacking the royal family there. Do what you can in the public, making the public unhappy. Page of Coins reversed. Getting the money, getting the photos, getting the intel, the information, but then distorting it, lying about it, distorting everything, making her agenda of making everybody unhappy. And the Magician. The media, controlling the narrative. So yeah, so they work together, obviously, and um, Karl Larsen is there to work with her to depress society, Ten of Cups reversed, and upset the royal family with his pictures, with his info, in order to manipulate the media and the narrative. It's all about the narrative and create, Meghan's version of events. And it started off with the whole idea of Thomas Markle posing for some pictures in April, May 2018, and trying to blow that up and gaslighting us about it being some huge scandal that it's not. So this is the type of like thing a magician would try to do, like try to make something that's not there, you know, just by the force. And she uses Karl Larsen for that. And because Karl Larsen already hates Coleman Rayner because he feels they didn't pay him enough money, they're teamed up together. So Meghan's using him, he's using Meghan. Karl Larsen used Thomas Markle. Yeah. So they're all it's yeah, they're Karl Larsen and Meghan are using each other and they both use Thomas Markle. So I kind of see Thomas Markle as the victim here. Did Karl Larsen influence Thomas Markle to sue Coleman Rayner? Since Karl Larsen already sued Coleman Rayner and lost, I would assume he probably, and the fact that he suddenly teams up, because Karl Larsen, like I said, he went to Thomas Markle. He went to Thomas Markle like, here, I know what you should do. You should sue Coleman Rayner. Yeah, I used to work for them. I can help you with that. I know exactly what they're like. So did Karl Larsen do that? Was he encouraging Thomas Markle to enter a lawsuit with Coleman Rayner. Oh, look at that. Just flipped over. Five of Cups upright, yeah. Because they were both unhappy, right? So I get that Karl Larsen manipulated Thomas Markle, who's very unhappy, which I got over here already. He's very unhappy, alone, and ignored and maligned by Meghan. I mean, he was just attacked again and again, and those unflattering pictures were no doubt taken from Meghan, Meghan's behest. So Meghan, used her weaponized PR, her weaponized media, just like she did against private citizens in the UK when she published the private citizens' pictures with their name, address, and everything. So, I mean, that's what Meghan and Harry do. Meghan and Harry attack the press, but at the same time, they weaponize it to attack anyone they don't like, right? You see how they use them as a weapon, then turn around to try to destroy them. They're so evil. I guess the press is okay for Harry and Meghan as long as they control everything it does and can use it as a weapon. Then they're okay with it, right? Yeah. Why did Meghan tell Carl Larson to approach her father to try to get him to say inappropriate things that she could use in a video or Netflix and blackmail him with, perhaps? Did Meghan send Carl Larson over to manipulate her father? Let me see. I want to get a few cards here. Need to shuffle a little more here. Did Meghan tell Carl Larson to go befriend her dad so she could use video against him? So the first card I get, Eight of Wands. Working together. She wanted them to work together, get more media out there. Three of Wands. Three of them together, Meghan, Carl Larson, Thomas Markle. And the Queen of Swords reversed. Oh, yeah. So Meghan not only wanted Carl Larson to get together with her father to get nasty video of him, she also wanted Carl Larson to encourage her father to sue Coleman Rayner. Yeah, so she was absolutely behind this. You know how Meghan is with her lawsuits. She's all about suing everyone. She's got Harry suing everyone. She's got Harry saying things like, "There's loopholes in everything. Yeah, you can manipulate what's not said as well as what is said." So, it's a very legalistic, manipulative, demonic, evil, nasty, scoundrel, criminal, psychopath type of thinking that Meghan has, and she was using. Now, Carl Larson, you just look at him and know, in my opinion, bleh, he looks like a criminal. Sorry, he does. And acts like one, and he looks like another one with the vexatious litigation. So these got these two vexatious litigation people. So Carl Larson was Meghan influenced Carl Larson to get to work with her father, and she was manipulating the whole thing behind the scenes between them. Like Carl Larson reported back to Meghan is what I get from this. There was three of them working together through the whole thing. It was three of the three amigos, but Thomas Markle probably didn't know, but Carl Larson was working with Meghan the entire time he was working with her father. Because Ada Wands, they wanted to get everything out. Meghan wanted to get video that she could use in the media against him and victimize him again. Because Meghan victimized her father once by claiming that he was scamming her or causing some great offense by posing for a few pictures. So now she was trying to get more of what Thomas Markle did with Carl Larson to use that against her father. Because Meghan's still attacking her father with the media. Well, she keeps her hands clean in the background. Like, I have nothing to do with this. Look what my dad did. Look what he said about me in the royal family. I had nothing to do with it, when in fact, she had everything to do with it because she's the one that encouraged Carl Larson to approach her dad. She was the one that sent Carl Larson over to her father. So, yeah. And Thomas Markle I see as a victim here. And I see Doria behind all of it too. So it's Doria and Meghan behind both of this. Doria and Meghan, I get the feeling, want to destroy Thomas Markle and bring him to his death. They want to bring him to his death. They just want him to die. And Carl Larson was a mercenary of death for Doria and Meghan towards Thomas. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm seeing here. Yeah. So there you have it. There is the story of Karl Larsen, Coleman Rayner, Thomas Markle, and Meghan Schmarkle. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you all for being here, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye bye.